Hi, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. In this video, we're going to learn the 1 to 8 player game Lift It, designed by Per Godding and published by USAopoly. Lift It will have players racing to build structures using a variety of pieces, precise placement, and their head. Literally. So join me at the table and let's learn how to play. To set up, place the game board in the center of the table and put the various building blocks onto the board in the marked spaces. Then shuffle this deck of Lift It cards and place it beside the board, along with the included timer. Now each player chooses a colored pawn to place on either of these two starting spaces. I'm going to set up for a 3-player game in this video, so I'll put 2 of the player pawns here and 1 here, but I could have just as easily put all of them together here. The chosen starting space really doesn't matter. Each player also puts one of these dual cards in their color beside the board. Now each player collects a headband, crane, and hook, and you attach the crane to the hook by connecting the pieces this way. And the headband, well, we'll see how that's used soon enough. The game comes with enough headbands, cranes, and hooks for 4 unique players, but you can expand that to 8 by having people work together on teams of 2 players each. They'll then share a color, and then instead of attaching a single crane to a hook, you attach 2 cranes to the hooks. Players will then pass the components around as needed during the gameplay. Just keep in mind during this video, if you're playing in teams, anytime I refer to a player doing something, that would instead be performed by a team. And that's the setup. In Lift It, players will be attempting a series of challenges in order to be the first to move their pawn to the finished space. And they'll attempt those challenges using this crane to pick up and move pieces and arranging them in the pattern that is shown on the various building cards that will be revealed. The game is played over a series of rounds, and each round starts with the youngest player, and then play proceeds around the table in clockwise order. And each round is composed of 4 steps. The first step is determining the building method by looking at the space your pawn is currently on. If it's a solid color, or the start space, the player may choose to either build the next challenge with their hand or their head. And I'll explain both of those techniques in just a moment. Once they pick a method, the top building card is flipped over and the player must construct the design shown within the time limit here. The included timer runs for 40 seconds, so for this 80-second challenge, one of the other players will flip the timer a second time when it first runs out, which you're reminded of with these symbols. For example, if you were performing this challenge instead, you would have until the sand had been drained 3 times. There's also a free official app for Lift It that you can download in place of using the sand timer. The player spends their time building the shown structure within one of these 2 zones until either they finish or the timer runs out. Then the player scores points based on what they built. For each correctly positioned building block, a point is earned, even if the entire task was not completed. For example, in this case, the player would gain 3 points. And you'll notice the building pieces do not have to be precisely aligned as they're shown in the image. Players should instead agree to judge structures reasonably. If a player manages to fully build a structure as shown in the picture, they also get a bonus 4 points. So this player would get 8 points, 4 for the number of pieces and 4 for the bonus. Based on your score, you then move your pawn that number of spaces in a clockwise direction. If during movement you would ever cross one of these dual barriers, take a dual card in your color from the side of the board and place it in front of yourself. We'll see how these affect gameplay in just a moment, but either way, after scoring, play then passes to the next person in clockwise order. The 2 start spaces that we saw during the setup are also the 2 finish spaces. When a player lands on or crosses the start-finish space that was ahead of their starting position, any other players who have not taken a turn that round will do so, and then the player whose pawn moved farthest past their finish line wins. In the case of being tied for furthest, the tied players share the victory. So just to be clear, the green and yellow players in this case are trying to get to and cross this space, and the blue player is trying to get to and cross this space. So with that understood, let's go back to learning about how the different forms of construction work. And as we already said, if you're on a solid or start-finish space, then you can use either your hand or your head. And you've seen some examples of using your hand already. This means holding the crane in your hand and building your structure by picking up pieces this way. You are not allowed to use your other hand to help you. You can only use the crane and hook. If you choose, or if the game instructs you, to use your head, then wrap this headband snugly around your forehead, attaching it in the back, and then slip the back end of the crane onto the fabric. And when constructing your building, now you can only use your head. Again, you can't use your hands or anything else to help, which adds to the challenge and the amusement experienced by your opponents. Dang it! If you start your turn on a space like this, then you can only use your head to complete the challenge. If you start your turn on a space like this, then you must perform an explanation challenge. Here, the player to your right secretly draws and looks at the next challenge without showing it to you, and must instead describe it while you try to build it. You can build using the crane in your hand or on your head if you wish, and the score you earn is then also gained by the player who helped you. Remember, when scoring, if your pawn passes one of these duel lines, you collect a duel card in your color and place it in front of yourself. This is a reminder that during your next challenge, you will not be completing it alone. Instead, when the challenge is flipped over, you and the player to your left will both try to build it at the same time, each using one of these different zones. You'll ignore the listed time limit, and instead, the first player to complete the challenge will get a point for each piece placed in the completed structure. Now, because this challenge is untimed, you do not also get the bonus 4 points for completing the task. Once your duel is over, you then return your card to the side of the board. Now, if you've crossed one of these duel lines and have a duel card already in front of you, but before your turn comes around again, you cross another duel line, perhaps because you helped a player during an explanation challenge or had to face someone else in a duel, you just keep the duel card you already have in front of yourself and nothing else changes. And that's everything you need to know to play Lift It. Now, there are also rules for solo play or two players working together, where you'll win if you can get your pawn to the final space by only using, at most, 6 of the challenge cards. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below, and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.